All right, I just finished drawing what I think I want to draw for today, and I am ready to go for Ashita Joe, episode 11. Welcome, everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and as I just said, I am here for Ashita Joe, episode 11. I have just scribbled out this lovely little drawing, which I started out by just drawing the prison to which we are returning, and then something in my head went, the prison is the ring. Behind that wall that we can't cross, that we have crossed, that we escaped from, is the place that we're actually seeking, is the boxing ring itself, is the goal location. And so Joe, once again, is wandering through the wastes, but this time with a goal in mind, this time with a direction that he's headed, this time with intent and purpose and a conscious decision to aim himself at the difficult thing. Let me put this up here. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks since I've watched an episode of Ashita Joe, and I feel like the last episode was an okay place to leave it, but I desperately want to watch more Joe. I mentioned in a couple places why this happened. I've had a bunch of... essentially, I've just been a little bit overwhelmed. I've introduced a bunch of new shows to the channel, and also been dealing with, like, leaving the place where I was and coming back here and moving all my stuff and getting all set up again. It was just a little bit overwhelming, and now I'm mostly settled in and ready to roll. We've established the new schedule of shows for the most part, and the time period where Joe was taking a back seat while I figured everything else out has come to what I hope to be its total conclusion. And that opens the door for us to watch more Joe. The first thing to wonder at is which version, because we just watched Ashita Joe episode 10 the first time for the first episode, simply because the other version didn't work. We watched Ashita Joe episode 10 with the Yabuki decensored version, and it was fucking beautiful. And now that I've seen it, I don't know that I can go back. I've gone and I've looked at a couple of the episodes in both versions, and while there is perhaps something valuable to the noise and the feeling of looking at old TV that we get when we're watching Joe through the other version, something about the clarity and pristine crystal clearness and the sound quality of the higher quality Blu-ray version that has been decensored and denoised by whatever they did on the Yabuki version strikes me as the better version to watch. If I'm wrong, then we've got an episode to figure that out, and you can just let me know. Nobody has commented to that effect about the previous episode, but now I would like to open the door completely to say, like, I think that we're going to watch the Yabuki version moving forward. If there's a reason not to be doing that, if I'm really missing something by losing out on the noise and the old feel, let me know, and I will switch back happily. There is something fun about watching a thing that feels and looks old. It gives us a very different tone, and it changes my experience in ways that I'm not necessarily conscious of. But I think that when it comes to reading the artistic intent of the series and really feeling it and connecting to it, the higher clarity is going to go a long way. Especially when it comes to, like, to reading the animation, some of the more scribbly, sketchy stuff kind of gets lost in the noise and in the fuzz, and it seems to have been brought back to life a little bit in this other version. We'll see as we go along if you notice things that are off about it, but that's what I'm going to do so far, and that's my justification for it. So now, let's turn our attention to the story itself. Episode 10 has been the most impactful episode of Ashita Joe by a long shot, and the sequence at the end where Joe turns when he turns his attention toward returning and goes from this escape. Well, let's set it up. Joe gets beat to shit and defeated by an opponent who is genuinely better than him. He is hospitalized, put in bed, and there's a lack of clarity around whether he's awake or conscious or not. Rikishi comes and sort of taunts him and sort of says, as some of the people in the comments and in the Discord have said, sort of says directly to Joe, are you really a loser who's going to stay down, or are you going to get back up again? And now that it's been some time and I've had some discussions about this, I think I understand that that is the intent that most people have taken away from that scene of Rikishi standing over Joe, calling him weak, calling him a loser, saying, basically. I'm finding out if that's the truth. Because maybe there's something more here. You had something good, that one punch, and it was impressive, but that gave way to disappointment. Because underneath, you're nobody. You're nothing. You're just a man with fists and a love of swinging them. You're not trained. You're not skilled. You're not a danger to me. You're not a challenge, says Rikishi. You're not worth my time. That attitude, I think, is what's gotten to Joe. Combined with this emptiness, this hollowness in his actual pursuits, he uses the opportunity of an empty hospital room to escape, go straight out the window, and unlike his hog assault, he actually escapes. There's an actual chance for him to flee. There's a boat. The island is open. There's nobody to see but an old man that he could probably overpower and steal his boat. If Joe really wanted to get off this island, he can. And so we come back to the place where Shiraki says if he really wants to be a boxer, he won't leave. What the fuck does that mean? That's what it means. It means that the place Joe is going is behind those walls. The ring, the prison, Rikishi, they're all connected. They're all faded, sort of. And this is a story that's not really shying away from that. Although our characters are people, they're individuals, and there's nothing spiritual going on, really. There's nothing truly supernatural. There is a deep sense of fate and journey and story and an importance to following your, not necessarily like a line that's been placed out for you, but the line that your heart determines from the world. The world presents it to you. You're structured in a particular way that means that your heart wants it, certain things. And it is on you, it is your responsibility to pursue those wholeheartedly. And Joe has been like meandering around what his heart really wants in all sorts of directions, and then it snaps into place in the last episode. And the show running, the conveyance, the ability to tell us, the audience, that has happened, that this transformation is occurring inside Joe through the stuff that's occurring outside him, through the light, through the sea foam spray, through the song, resung, respoken with new words. I'll do it. I will. I'll make it. I'm going there. That's where I'm going, and I'm going there. This is my journey, and it's mine. It's alchemy. I've said it a couple of times, and I'm working at the same idea over in Dungeon Meshi in a different form, where it's like metabolism, where it's like intaking the world and turning it into something different and changing the ideas around it so that you can interact with it in a new way. But in Joe, it's alchemy, it's magic, it's turning shit into gold. It's turning Joe in the darkness, in the grime, finding the light inside, right? Finding a chemical reaction between one set of shit and another set of shit that births gold. And it's impossible. It's like wrong. It's supernatural. It's stupid. And yet it's fundamentally human. You can be struggling in the depths of darkness, in prison, beaten, destroyed, and you can be generating creation inside your mind. You can be creating stories and lives and hope and ways of thinking and philosophies and reorienting yourself and alchemizing the lead and the shit and the poison into fucking gold. And then you can build yourself around that. It just takes a spark. It takes compression. This was the metaphor or the analogy that we were going off before. It takes pressure. It takes, in Joe's case, like hatred, like friction, like something painful, something that he does not want, a response that's like, I don't like this place, I want to be somewhere else. But it's not about the place, it's about the person, it's about the perspective, it's about where you are. And in some ways, Joe carries where he is to wherever he goes. So something needs to change inside where he is, and we just watched it change. And it's like triumph. It's triumph of the human spirit over inertia, over the ease of tumbling down into not doing the thing. There's a point at which you can choose, and if you choose, a spark goes off, and if there's fuel for that spark to ignite, whoosh, And suddenly, if you're lined up right to capture the energy produced by that, your gears and wheels start turning and you're in motion and you're a totally different organism than you were. How does that happen? I don't know, but it happens on multiple levels. It happens psychologically, and then it like infuses you. You breathe it into your body, and then from there you can like energize and breathe it into the world around you and change things. But it starts in here. It starts with a conscious choice thing. How do we get there? I don't know. A spark. A spark. Sometimes it's external pressure. Sometimes it's just the piling up of a mountain of shit. Sometimes it's an old man reaching out and giving you a roadmap to tomorrow. Sometimes it's some collection of all these things hitting at the right time, in the right location, at the right depths of the right despair. You hit an inflection point and bounce, and you don't stay in the despair. How do you find those inflection points? That's the part that, like, that's one of the parts, at least, that I find most useful, maybe. Because in my own life, it is possible for me to see when I'm on a decline, right? And it is possible for me to see when I'm on an up curve, right? What would be magic is if I could sense or notice that I'm on a decline and find a way to optimize for an inflection point, to find the place that I bounce off of so that I don't descend any further, to find a place to be like, oh, registered a problem, reignite the spark. I'm reminded, my mind works like this, it jumps to like songs and other pieces of media. I'm reminded of a really song that I value a lot from Gojira, called Into the Storm, that's like very energetic. And there's a sequence in it that I misheard or misremembered in my mind. I thought it was reignite, but it's actually reactivate. It's say something about awakening, the rebellion you felt before. Wake, change your course, laws will follow. Restart, reactivate the core. Now that you dove down, found the bottom, begging for air, how sad, how long it takes us to rise and fight. Yeah, you come out, you're awake now, put your fist in the air, you were hiding, now you throw yourself into the storm. The whole song is about finding your bottom, igniting a spirit within you, reactivating some, like, deep core self, and restarting, changing your course, right? Letting everything follow you as you choose. It's a loop, it's a cycle, it's something that we don't do once, that we have to do over and over, that I've done more times than I can count, and a couple of times really clearly to me. Being able to conceptualize that maybe will let me look for it. So that if I see I'm losing myself, where is it? Reignite. In some ways, Joe blazes a trail for us, burns a path. We've found a way to relate to this strange man, and now we follow in his footsteps and we follow along his struggle. And I'm so excited to, because the way he has struggled and the way he is coming around to succeeding, to overcoming, I find so deeply inspirational. And so, like, there's a grit and a sincerity to it that feeds me, that fuels me, that I've been craving. And I crave more. So, let us turn our attention to episode 11 of Ashita no Joe and see what happens when he walks back in the door of the prison that he has just escaped. How will the guards and folks react? I assume that he's going to be punished pretty severely for this. How will Rikishi... I'm messing with his name now because people have commented that his name has two E's in it, so I'm fucking around, okay? It's Rikishi, Yishi, I think. How will he respond? Will he be pleased? What about our big homie? I don't know. We've got to find out. And then how will we play out the other side? And are the squad coming to prison? Are they going to show up here and try to train him? We got to watch another episode to find out, so let's go ahead and watch another episode of Ashita no Joe. I've got episode 11. I'm watching the Yabuki version. That's different. It's up and ready to go. It's at 0 seconds. There'll be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down, early access on the Patreon. Let's beep beep timer. Burn at the bottom of hell. Looks like maybe you're not out of the pit yet. Maybe solitary confinement. It sounds like punching. His fists cutting through the air, grabbing leaves. Mmm. He's not trying to escape anymore. I don't want to know about opening the door. Yeah, the beast is training. Beating up his mattress. Training, bro. Man, I'm in solitary confinement. Who am I bothering? Who said I'm trying to get out? I got training to do. Yeah, later, guys. I'm working here. Okay. What a fucking guy. Ah, that little smile. His face? Tell me it's his face. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Otto! Not the bed. Oh! Oh! Oh, that was really cool. I hope so. He's fully out of it. That's so sweet. We're going. Aww. The sweetest onigiri. Classic. Oh my god, Sachi. So fucking silly. Oh, he's here. Is he helping get food to us? Nishi. I think that's his name. I feel bad. Shh, shh. I want the hip twist. I want the hip twist. Foop, foop. Aww. It is Nishi. Good. Oh my god, he's cheering us on. I wonder how long Nishi's gonna be sort of a supporter. Mmm. Eat lots and grow strong. You've hitched your cart to his horse, man. He's your hope now. Weird. Is this us? Is this the homies on a boat? Senja! This guy's an alien. That's an alien. He's not real. He's not real. You're not a person. Mm-hmm. Too sad a story. I've been there. Sorry. Yeah, they are not in mourning. He just had to be smiling, too. Just sitting in the darkness, thinking. Replaying, replaying, replaying. He's coming to understand his own mistakes, really. The psychological shift that's happened, I need those things. Those are the way to get to the goal. Oh, it's so fucking cool. We had like 9 episodes of me being like, Joe's goals aren't aligned with Pompey's goals, and now they are. And now it's like, I need the papers. How are they supposed to get back? They're gonna be here for a month. Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird thing, but yeah. Hello, prison. So what the hell is the plan? How are you, a bunch of civilians, supposed to get in and train a dude who's in solitary confinement in prison? Is she flying over? What the fuck, Shiraki Yoko? What are you doing here? My family supports this prison, whatever. Shit, pretty rich girl at prison? Oh, is she doing community service? Oh, she knows they're all here. I assume. So what's the everybody else arriving by boat then? No, this is a prison. That's not how it works. What if I'm really cute, though? Oh, there's the everyone else. No, we're the entertainers. No, 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 no. We're the entertainers. Beat them up! Take their goods! Hide on their truck! We're in the truck, right? Yeah. Oh, damn it. We didn't think fast enough? Did she see? Fuck. Illegally, by stowing away. It's not working. Are we doing Rakugo? Is he gonna be so bad that they want him to stop? We have another weapon. Yeah. Just knock the guards out with terrible singing. Osomatsu. Go, guys, go! This is so silly. Okay, Kinoko, what do you got? Oh! Guys. Oh. Oh. Shiraki. Shiraki has saved us. All for nothing. All just a waste of time. Perfect. Truly a wild sequence. Man, that overextension. The fucking punish game. Single-minded. It's what you need, though, Joe. Oh, shit. We are not fucking around. We're gonna kidnap you and take you to watch the entertainers. Summer play. White lady play troupe. No, I don't wanna. Somehow he sees Rikishi in the wall, in the door. As though he's called to it. It's so weird. Feels like we're interrupting a wedding. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's just looking for Rikishi. He sure does. Fucking weirdo. So absolutely weird. My guy, don't go pick a fight. Jesus, man. The homie. He's gonna full try to fight him right here. Oh, it's not even him. You're seeing him everywhere. All the faces are Rikishi faces. Yeah, we gotta pay attention to the thing. Because our kids are on screen somewhere. Oh. Oh. Is that Dampé being whipped? Hey? That's Shiraki? Oh shit, it is! Yeah, she's just in a wig. Maybe getting to see her as not the person he hates. It's gotta be Danpei. Yeah. Huh! Ulsan! Shut the fuck up, you're in character! No, 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 no. We're here to train you and be in prison. Oh my god! Aww. Nah, I gotta punch a mattress. Don't be a dick. Come on, Joe. Don't throw the cake on the floor. Don't fucking throw the cake on the floor, you idiot. Is that him? Of course it's him. Fuck, my guy! Ah! Call your fucking hand in the cookie jar. God, what a theme! Oh, he's so happy! What a fucking banger. All he has to do is stand there. The Riz, the aura. He's just farming. Ah, yeah. God, I love that Danpei gets to put his eyes on him. Alright, Mr. Underbite. Mr. Big Jaw. Fuck. Boxing specialist. I can't look. I don't want to look. I don't want to know. I just want to hear the song. Oh, whoa. The ED isn't cleared up. That's kind of fun. This is a largely very silly episode compared to the last one that was like so core plot stuff. There's plenty of fun in it too. Episode 11 compris. I think this is a great format for an episode coming right after the big reveals and changes of the last one. I sort of expected that we would be sort of following the return more, but instead we skip right to it and cut out the middle stuff. We just jump straight to Joe is in solitary confinement and he's ready and he's training. We just take him from one state to another state directly without having to do all the glue transition between, because we know it's all deterministic glue, right? He's going to return. They're going to be like, you did a bad, go to solitary confinement, done. We don't need to show it all. We focus on the stuff that matters, and also a bunch of stuff that totally doesn't matter, which is fine. It's fine. It's an entertaining show meant to be entertaining, and the sequence where they're pretending to be entertainers and stuff is silly. It's a set of gags, and it's fun. It doesn't exactly fit the flow of the episode or like the overall arc of the story. And that's just part of the nature of the show that I sort of have to acclimate to every time that I watch it, because it's very different from a lot of the other shows that we watch where sort of everything has to serve the story. Like everything, because it's so expensive and because it takes so much time and because there's so much competing anime out there, every episode, every beat has to like be a part of things and mean something. And there's something nice about a show that doesn't have to do that, where just like, we're going to spend time with our characters doing a fun thing because it's fun. And because like we can animate it pretty minimally and fill 5 minutes, and the people watching and be like, that was fine, let's get to the next thing, and that's great. I love the sound effects as the lure that brings us in to show us where Joe is. Something about hearing is wired into me after Ippo and certain other things. It's just cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I really like the sense of kind of quiet, and it's not oppressive, but like pressing in solitude around these guards as they walk around. There's something about the way that the smoke billows out that feels very film noir, that feels very like in the dark streets of a city that knows how to keep its secrets. That's the cat who, isn't it? Oh man, I just unlocked a core memory. Whoa. A Dark Night. Or is that like Wobegon? A Dark Night in a city that knows how to keep its secrets. Yeah, it's The Adventures of Guy Noir by Garrison Keillor. Guy Noir, Private Eye. For a Prairie Home Companion. Holy shit!
A dark night in a city that knows how to keep its secrets. But on the 12th floor of the Acme building, one man is trying to find the answers to life's persistent questions. Guy Noir, Private Eye.
It's a Garrison Keillor show. Fuck. So that's exactly where it takes me, with the poof, poof of the smoke billowing and stuff. Guy Noir, Private Eye. What a core memory. I must have like 1,000 hours of Prairie Home Companion stored in the back of my skull somewhere. Weird. That and shit, who's the reader? Is it George Guidall reading the Cat Who books? I really like those books. There's a series of books and audiobooks called The Cat Who that are about like a middle-aged detective man with a cat who goes to various small towns and stuff and solves mysteries and usually falls semi in love with a middle-aged woman. These were what my mom listened to when I was growing up. She really liked these books. Huh. Core memory unlocked. Weird. Crazy how one piece of media can do that. Hey, what's that sound? I really like the sort of feel and color design of these scenes. It's partly because it's the decensored version and everything is a little crisper and a little bit more saturated and a little bit more vibrant. But it feels great. It feels really artistic and fun. This moment when we first see Joe in through the doorway with the flashlight on him, it's like, it reminds me of like found footage horror movies. You come into a room and there's like a creature like eating the flesh, something. It's like a witch, spooky monsters. Are those in Left 4 Dead? Another strange pull, but like you enter into a dark space and there's a strange creature in the corner making weird noises. Joe here is like monstrous and inhuman and not comprehensible to the guards. His actions are weird. He's stepped outside of the bounds of what a prisoner should do, what a person should do. And that's true. He's an animal, right? Our first multiple episodes have titles that are like, the eyes of the beast. Don't fuck around with the beast. Don't mess with the beast. Let the beast off its leash. It's like, this is the beast. He's in a cage, he's in a box, but now he wants to be there. He's like chewing on bones and sharpening his teeth. That's really what it is. He's sharpening his claws against the wall. So we enter, and there's this horrid noise as this monster makes himself into more of a monster, and we can't do anything about it. We're like, stop, what are you doing? Don't do that. That's so weird. You're becoming dangerous. And he's like, I know. That's the point. Get out. Let me do it. Pretty fucking sick. On just a pure awesomeness level, top tier baller. Absolutely insane. What is he doing? You're crazy. He's just like, hey, what's up, boys? How's it going? Well, I'm training. It was in my way. I propped it up. And he's like, the response is, you can't do things like that. Those are illegal. According to who? You'll never get out of here if you do things like that. Get this slow pull in. There's a lot of accenting on Joe's like body and features and the dark shadows in him that makes him, it's not as though he's more muscular, but it's as though he's more stark and more like well defined and more capable and more dangerous. He's got sharper edges. But then his responses, this changes later when he's actually being dragged to the place. His responses are less reactionary. Sorry for using a word that's been sort of taken and made into another word. He's less instantly reactive unconsciously. He's a little disconnected. He's a little aloof from the immediate push-pull of the social interaction. Like before, if you insult Joe a little bit, he responds and retaliates, right? He has to. It's like wild animal. Now he's like thinking animal. He's like, oh, you push me? Okay, let's make a joke out of it. And brushes off. It doesn't land. It's like, I've got a focus that I'm focused on. These things don't matter to me that much. I think that's pretty powerful, right? Joe has gained a sense of self-control by being aligned toward a goal, right? He has an identity now. That's not just, I'm a guy who fights. It's like, I'm a guy who's training. And you're in my way. It's no longer, I'm a guy and you're attacking me and I gotta fight back so that I feel safe. It's like, I got a thing to do, man. I don't give a shit about you. Leave me be. I'm focused. And there's some maturity to that. There's some self-control to it. There's some power to it. It's not the simple power of being able to beat somebody into the dirt. It's the power over self to not jump to attacking someone who might beat you. Like, a previous Joe might play this interaction in a way that gets him more punished. That gets him beaten by the guards or something. And he'd laugh it off and be like, I was just being the way that I am. I had to. But that would get him further away from his goal. And now he doesn't. Out you go. Slam! Perfect. Don't care about lunch. I've got stuff to do. That stuff. I've got somebody to beat. Boom! This is such a cool scene. It's like, it's Ippo punching the punching bag for the first time. I'm like, whoa. I love it. I love it. There's some real emphasis on form and stuff. And later when Joe is thinking through the previous interactions with Rikishi, it's like there's real care in the choreography to make it obvious to us as we view it what happened. Joe overextends with a right that's not a good right, that puts way too much of his weight into it. Rikishi notices, turns, capitalizes. It's punish game. I come from a particular fighting game tradition that is Super Smash Bros. Melee. I will not claim to be good at it, but I am a definite enthusiast and hobbyist. And something that I learned very much from Melee is the idea of punish game. An enemy or a person doesn't have any weaknesses or openings until they do, and then you capitalize on those and punish them. They make a move, you wait for them to make a move. They make a move, you punish in the interim while they are unsettled or off balance. Skill. And a piece of that is the ability to not instantly react, but to consciously react, to intake and decide. It takes a level of competence at the activity that lets you, like, dance around somebody else. And that's what Rikishi really has. He's really that much better than Joe. But Joe looks, and there's some confidence growing in him. He's getting there. And then he pulls out the paper. He kisses it. Mwah! Please lend me your strength for the sake of tomorrow, number 2. So the relationship that Joe has to the papers has changed. These papers are where he goes. They're like worship documents. They're like scripture. They're like holy books. And man, can you imagine? I mean, I know it. Teenagers and kids going and finding martial arts manuals or books on how to punch and stuff. And that's scripture, man. That's the holiest of gospels, a thing that teaches you. When I was young, so my equivalent wasn't fighting. My equivalent was weightlifting, lifting weights, literally strength training, right? And so finding Mark Ripto's blue book, Starting Strength, and reading through it, and it's like, oh, this holy text that gives me information about this world that's off limits to me otherwise. That's like, yeah, these magic people that lift heavy things and get stronger and know how to exercise, they've got these skills and these capacities. And then here's this book that gives you a direct roadmap to do it. Wow, what a thing. And it's like, I'm going to study it, I'm going to learn, I'm going to know everything about it. Because it feeds me, because it feeds into something that I want to pursue, because it's aligned with my goal, and it opens the door, it blazes a trail, it shows the way. So Joe, looking at these papers, there's something about it that's so familiar to me. Please lend me your strength. We get this lovely slow-mo sequence. That's like, it's so lovely. Just pushes the paper back. Gosh, there's such coherent anatomical understanding that's then been abstracted. Okay. As you punch, you rotate. Yeah, but it's not just a full rotation of the arm. It's every piece rotating and locking. Click, 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 click. Right? So then your forearm muscles rotate around the bone, and then your upper arm muscles, your triceps, rotate to the outside and up. Right? And the biceps rotate down and in. The chest extends. The lat, like, releases the shoulder blade and lets it all swing forward. The whole shoulder comes forward as you push through, and it twists, it spins. The whole thing is a rotating mass at the end, and then it's twisting spirals between each bone, between each joint. Like the whole of the bicep tricep mass goes rotate, and the whole of the forearm mass and the two bones go rotate, and then the wrist locks in and clink. We're built for this, and we're built for throwing, right? Built for throwing, and we throw our fists. Here, in the punch, we have abstractions of muscle. So as opposed to, like, drawing each muscle group, drawing the deltoid, drawing the bicep and tricep, it's an artist whose understanding of the arm is such that they're, like, abstracting these chunks that flow together and twist. Right there. Boom. Bam. Oh, it's an extension of the stuff that I don't get yet about where the shadows are in motion, where ripples in fabric end up, and like how they move, but applied to the ripple of musculature under the surface of the skin by somebody who has like a deep understanding of the anatomy. So much so that they're not even referencing the anatomy anymore, but just drawing what feels right, and it comes across. I'm so deeply impressed. That's so cool looking. Gonna come in person instead, and so we are. Little jokes. It's so sweet and cute. They bring the the onigiri, the little costumes are really silly. I wonder if these are direct references to anything. Like, this one feels like a direct reference somehow to like some like Osamatsu-san or something like that. Some like really long running show. And then she feels like a Betty Boop, I think is the joke, but I don't know. And it's just puns and jokes back and forth until we turn to find that Nishi is like worshipful toward Joe. He believes wholeheartedly, which is a little bit strange. It's a little weird. It feels like one of those elements that's the narrator speaking through Nishi, and it's like we want this emphasis on like people looking at Joe and being like, "You're the one, Joe. You can do it." I don't mind it though. I do wonder. One of my favorite aspects of Hajime no Ippo is that there's this group of bullies who bully Ippo during the first episodes of the show, and they're in many ways the catalyst for him to become a fighter. He gets seen being beaten up by a boxer, and that boxer kind of, their interactions lead him to become a fighter. And later on, those bullies find out that Ippo is a boxer and turn from disrespect to deep admiration for him. And they end up being some of his like most stalwart fans, who the camera often will turn to in the midst of a match to have them be like, "Come on, Ippo, you can do it." Because they're there and they're following his journey and believing him. I really like that element, and I wonder for how long Nishi will follow us. Because this attitude that he has where he's like, "You could do it, Joe, I believe in you." It's like, it's gone beyond what it first was, which was like jobbing, where we build up Nishi and then he's like really scared, to being like a real friend or ally. It's interesting. Eat lots, Joe, eat lots, and beat Rikishi Toru. You're the man I have such high expectations of. These feel strange to me because they're not really Nishi's voice. They're like the voice of the story through a character. And so there's a sense that they're not right or real. This scene, and a couple like it that follow, where Joe is just backed up against this wall with light cascading over him, they give such time to like think and mull for us, the audience. They feel important, even if I don't know exactly what they say. Oh, we end up on the boat. We get some fun banter between these two. I really like the facial character designs for both of them. Honestly, the two guards that we get later who are arguing with the kids about being entertainers and stuff, just wonderfully character-filled characters. This, it seems like a nice thing to do. No, sir, we can't do that. What perfect characters for these characters. Joe sits and Joe thinks. And he thinks and he replays. And he replays. We've talked about this a little bit, imagining. But now he's replaying something that has happened in order to figure out what he can do about it. To me, it's a replay of the mistake, right? We see this move. We see him overextend. We see the moment of fear. I've made a mistake. I know what it feels like to be on the other side of this and be able to capitalize. And then suddenly, looming, punching. It's going to take a little more time. There's some fundamental respect here. He's like, I don't have it yet. I need more. Okay, so these guys are stuck on the island, I guess. Oh, it definitely feels like narrative contrivance to have all these things collide, and that's fine. This is the story that we're telling. I love this guy being all like kind of starstruck by Shiraki Yoko. Miss Yoko, how welcome, how nice to see you. This whole sequence reads very much like Manzai style comedy a little bit, like a simple on-stage back and forth that might play out literally on a stage. The gags feel like that. Clang, 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 clang. And it's full of silliness, singing really badly, but in the end it doesn't matter because Shiraki Yoko has requested their entrance. I'm not interested. I don't want to go look. I want to work. I want to fight. Then there's a vision of the face. Almost as though, remember we talked in the beginning about like there's like a fate or a path. There are places that guide you there. Hurry up and leave. I don't want to see the performance. I'm here because I want to fight Rikishi. And he goes, he looks at the door, and he sees Rikishi's face again. I guess because he's realizing in this moment that all of the prisoners are supposed to be there, so likely he'll be there, and this is a chance to see him. I didn't read it that way at first. I was like, I was actually reading it as almost supernatural, almost like, ooh, you're compelled to go this direction. How odd. The haggard faces of the prisoners are really fun. And it really does feel like we're interrupting a wedding. Or at least interrupting a movie. Joe is still entirely Joe. He's ready to snap and fight. So that thing I said about not being quite as reactive isn't quite true. At least not when it comes to Rikishi. Not when it comes to others. It's a weird play. I wonder what the play that we're doing is supposed to be. Is it real, Joe? I don't know. Is it real? We get to see Shiraki Yoko in a different guise, as a different person. She is beloved by the prisoners, and Joe watches with some intrigue, right? It's a way of seeing her as not the person that he hates. That's my take, is like, you can fall for her when she's in disguise because she's not the person that you hate. There's something more there. But then he realizes, hey, old man, we're just talking across the whole group. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? And Joe takes over the whole stage play. Shiraki asks for a conversation. And before we can agree, Joe starts to go off. This all pisses me off. You all watching a play. We're in prison. We got things to do. We got fights to train for. Of course, when he's like, when his point is least salient, when Joe is kind of making a bit of a fool of himself by shitting on this entertaining thing that everybody's enjoying, like, come on, man, have a sense. Rikishi steps up and calls him out. And Rikishi keeps taking this role of being the good guy. And I hate it. I hate it. How dare he? God, just let Joe be. It's silly, right? Because in reality, Joe's obstructing the thing that we're all enjoying and stuff. Grr. Time for our act to begin. Gosh, the smile, and the smile in turn. My guy turns into full Mickey Mouse. His eyes go full wide. His smile stretches from ear to ear. The person I've been waiting for. The love of my life, who I must kill now. Heh. Ho ho. One person has real thoughts about this sequence. It's Danpei. Oh, that's him? Yeah, this'll be good for you, Joe. This'll be good for you. Man, we'll see. We draw the curtain. Rikishi steps forward. And that's where we leave the episode. Will they get to fight in the midst of all these prisoners with the guards all around? Or will this little interaction be allayed until a little bit later? I have no idea. A mixed bag of an episode. Pushes the plot forward. Has some pieces that I could do without. The kids being jokey sequence is fine. Fine. And then it has some pieces that really land really well. Joe thinking. It builds tone and it builds character. He's growing and he's changing, but into what and how fast? We'll find out next time when he and Rikishi potentially have the opportunity to face off on stage. Next week on Ashita no Joe. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode. I'll see you next time for more. Much love. Drop any comments or thoughts that you have about this episode in the comments, and I'll see you next time for more. Much love. Peace.